Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were modestly up at about 0.2%, though the job data was not positive as the non-farm payroll data came in at about 1,62,000. But the only positive takeaway from this data is that the Fed may not go for tapering immediately, and also the interest rates actually may not really go up in the short run. So that's a major positive takeaway. And European markets were flat to marginally negative, no major data points to look at. And when we look at the Asian markets today, few markets are down. Japan is down almost about 1% as yen has appreciated, and some of the other markets are also down. At the same time, Hang Seng and Shanghai are marginally up. When we look at the SGX Nifty today, there is going to be an uptick of about 40 to 45 points after about 6 to 7% kind of a cut that we have seen in the last about 5 days time. In terms of flows, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 284 crore. The domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of 341 crore, and in the index futures, FIs were net sellers to the tune of about 565 crore. Back home, our markets continue to slide, and even on Friday, we had a downtick of almost about 0.8% with some of the PSU banks, the mid-cap stocks, and even the infrastructure names were down. And more importantly, the results which came out post markets on Friday were not really up to the mark. So that is definitely one negative factor. Also, the rupee closed at 22 months lowest level of about 61.15. But the only respite is that today morning, because some of the other emerging market currencies have appreciated against the dollar, there could be some positive news for rupee, and it might appreciate by about 0.5 to 1% at least in the morning trade. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. From past couple of trading sessions, we have seen that markets are continuing to trade in negative terrain, and market participants also have taken profits away. As we see in Friday's trade, we have seen 8.92 lakh shares were reduced in open interest, and Nifty futures premium also decreased from 34 points to 28 odd levels. If we talk about put call ratio, PCR is decreased from 1.01 to 0.99, indicating put option has added less number of shares as compared to call option. Call option has added around 36 lakh shares in open interest, and put option has added around 26 lakh shares open interest. If we see call options activity is widespread, and if we talk about put option, strike of 5,600 followed by 5,500 had seen a good activity and good number of accumulation in open interest. And as Singapore Nifty is up by 50 points, so we might see a gap up opening in Nifty, but overall our bias for the market is negative, and any rise can be taken as opportunity to go short. Our weekly VWAP for the week is 5770 on higher side and 5665 on lower side. From intraday perspective, one can go short on CESC with a stop loss of 328.70. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are watching today. First of all, the monsoon session of the Parliament is going to begin from today, and important bills are likely to be taken up. So it remains to be seen what kind of work we are able to see on it, particularly on the important bills, because there is some agreement with BJP on certain bills. So let's see how it goes for the next few days. The numbers to watch out for, Tata Chemicals, we are looking at a net profit of 176 crore, and Engineers India, we are looking at a net profit of 143 crore. Coal India came out with their numbers. Numbers were disappointing as the profit went down by almost about 16.5%, and the top line also declined marginally, and overall there was a bit of a correction in the e-realization also, so there could be a quick negative reaction in the Coal India stock in today's market. And some positive news on the 26% cap of FDI in the pension sector, because there seems to be some agreement with BJP on this particular item. So if we see some progress, definitely it would be positive for the overall market. Some negative news for the private oil refinery companies, as the draft report of CAG has criticized the oil companies for causing a gain of about 10,196 crore to the private refiners like Reliance and SR. So there could be a quick negative reaction for those companies in today's market. Also, Rana Kapoor, CEO of Yes Bank, has initiated settlement talks with Madhu Kapoor, the wife of late co-promoter Ashok Kapoor to settle the family dispute on the right of putting the nomination, etc. So this is something that we'll have to see how it unfolds. In another important development, the Vodafone Group, which is holding about 4.4% stake in Bharti, could be forced to sell that as per the current rule. No carrier or mobile company can own a direct or indirect equity stake in another operating in India. So there could be some negative reaction of this on the Bharti stock. And for Tata Motors, the negative development is that the company has cut its workforce at its Pantnagar plant by almost about 21% in the first quarter of 2013-14, which is indicating that the economic slowdown is definitely hurting them. So some negative reaction in Tata Motors stock is very much possible today. Sisa Goa, as per the sources, the mining in the state of Goa could be opened up in the next about 3 to 4 weeks time. So there could be a big relief for Sisa Goa. One can go long there with a stop loss of 120 and a target of about 127 to about 130. BHEL reported extremely weak set of Q1 numbers, and the profit halved to about 465 crore from 921 crore last year. So one can short BHEL with a stop loss of 153 and a target of about 145 to about 142. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a good trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.